Dutuel. It's been a major factor, Dutuel. Full of industry. That's a good ball. This is Ferreri, and it's in. Lovely move, straight through the middle. And you have to say it's been coming for 5, maybe 10 minutes. Well played by Dutuel, and a nice pass through to Kuka. Kovac in the middle, and gets the chance because Ablet didn't cut it out. And Kovac makes it 2-0.
Good evening and welcome to Anfield, and those are the 2 goals that Liverpool have to come back from tonight, and they go into this tie against Auxerre having won just 2 of their last 11 games in any competition, and that's just about the worst sequence since Bill Shankly took them out of the 2nd Division over 30 years ago. So let's hear what Alan Hansen and Jimmy Hill think about the task ahead tonight. They cannot afford to concede a goal, that's obvious.
No, they don't want an open game at all. What they'd be looking for would be a solid professional performance where they'd have Auxerre pinned into their own half. Don't give them any encouragement at all. Keep a hold of the ball, get them frustrated, because when teams get frustrated, more importantly, individuals get frustrated, that's when the mistakes occur. And hopefully, if the mistakes do occur, then Liverpool can capitalise on it.
What do you make of the task ahead, Jimmy?
I think it's exceedingly difficult, if not impossible. And Alan's doing what Graham Souness will be doing at the moment, virtually giving a team, the team talk, saying that to players who may not be capable because of their limited experience or being off form, or what's happening because of the transitory stage that Liverpool are going through, injuries as well. They may not be able to do that. That's the trouble. They can be told what to do, but that 11 that sits there on that programme, I don't think will be capable of doing it.
Well, let's show that programme to our viewers, or at least the names on it anyway, and there they are. And Alan, perhaps you can tell us exactly how they'll line up, because it's rather difficult to work out the back 4. I mean, the team changes from week to week at the moment, of course.
Well, I think they're going to play Mick Marsh as an out-and-out right back. That's the only way I can see the team lining up. He's got his problems again, isn't he, because of the 4-player rule. Team's decimated by injuries. He's got to put that line-up out. But certainly it's an attacking line-up. And hopefully somewhere along the line, if they can get an early goal, that would make all the difference. The unknown factor in all this is how Auxerre will react under pressure.
Yes.
And if
how they travel.
That's right. If Liverpool can get an early goal, get the crowd on their side, then who knows what can happen.
Now, a lot of our viewers will wonder where Dean Saunders is in that line-up, Jimmy, won't they? I mean, they paid 2 point whatever it is million for him, and he's not there, but it'll be something to do with the 4 foreigner rule.
The 4-player rule really was changed the whole attitude of British clubs, English clubs, to European football. It has. The whole planning of your staff has got to be different as a result of it. And Liverpool are in this transitory stage. The last thing they wanted, a club that are seldom affected by injuries historically, all of a sudden have a massive injury list. And it's hit them just at the wrong time. Wanting to come back into Europe, wanting to play wonderfully well, and they have that bad fortune. But on the other hand, I'm not being too pessimistic. I think the Kop, if anybody's going to win the match tonight from, it's going to be the Kop.
Well,
they might find the
key, aren't they? I mean, the fans here have always given the club tremendous backing, but they've got to tonight.
You're right. Traditionally, on big European nights, the Kop can make all the difference. And as we said before, we don't know how the French are going to travel. If Liverpool can get an early goal and take advantage of it, get the Kop on their side, then anything can happen at all.
It was a long while ago, but I can tell you playing here, when you're running with the ball and a Liverpool player, may be 3 yards behind you, the noise is such, you feel he's half an inch behind you. That's the difference in playing in front of this crowd.
That's right. Once the French side come down the tunnel and see the sign, this is Anfield, that says it all.
It's frightened a few people over
It's frightened a few people in the time.
Including me.
Did you have that suit when you were playing here, Jimmy, by the way?
Yes, I did. I did. It was given me by the then Fulham chairman, Tommy Trinder, because he'd worn it for a few years on the stage.
I think the point is here tonight, though, we've got a tremendous match in prospect, haven't we? Because it's a live match, 2-0 down. Liverpool at home. They've got chances. We can't be too pessimistic about it.
They have got chances. Yeah, I'm only stating the facts as you look at very young team in many cases, lack of experience and things like that. I'm stating the professional view, but football's about heart and emotion, and maybe they can rise to it tonight.
Liverpool players tonight have got to stand up and be counted.
Well, there's the cop. And what about those young players, though, like McManaman and Marsh and Tanner and people like this that haven't been in the team very much or very long? How do they feel going out there for a tie like this, do you think, tonight? Are they confident, boys?
Well, they will be confident. They've been playing all season. Obviously, the team hasn't been going that well. It'll be up to the more experienced players to help them through it. The most important thing for me would be the first 10 minutes, not to let those Auxerre players settle at all. And then, as I said, get them frustrated, and the mistakes will definitely occur.
OK, thanks, Alan. Thanks, Jimmy. Let's sit back and enjoy it now. And our match commentators are Trevor Brooking and Barry Davis.
Tremendous reception for the Liverpool team from the Kop, and the Kop have a part to play this evening, there's no doubt about that. Let's just check again that Liverpool lineup. The two changes compared with the first leg, Ian Mulby and Mike Marsh in the starting lineup. Marsh was a substitute in the first game, in place of the injured Steve Nicol and the youngster Jamie Redknapp. As for the French, well, they've only had to make one change, forced on them by the suspension to William Prunier, who was booked in the first leg, his second booking of the competition. So in his place comes Darras, which might mean a change of role for Mrs. Kazmarek and Roche. Well, 2-0 it was in the first leg to the French. A 2-0 thrashing it was described, and it certainly would have been that, but for this man, Bruce Robillard, who had an outstanding game then, and will not be wanting to see too much of the ball this evening. In contrast, Liverpool will want to stir this man just a little bit. Bruno Martini, who barely touched the ball except for back passes in the first match. See the wind ruffling his hair. Wind always a problem, and it is quite strong and a bit of a swirling wind, Trevor Brooking.
It is, and it's one of those occasions though where Liverpool, I think, have got to try and revert back, and as Alan Hansen said, get that possession game that was so apparent in their memorable years in Europe, and it was such a feature that they seemed 1 week to play in English football with that slightly faster pace, and then midweek adjust to the sort of European scene where it is a patient, a slower game. But perhaps this evening, that first 10 or 15 minutes, they must pressurise Auxerre into realising it's not going to be quite the same as that first leg. And the noise of the Kop in good voice at the moment, I'm sure, will play its part, as we say. And that opening 10 minutes, if they can create one or two chances, get one or two finishes and test the goalkeeper, who knows what can happen. But I must say myself, Auxerre are going to be a very difficult proposition.
All the officials come from Portugal. The referee, Carlos Alberto da Silva Valente, and his two linesmen, Vitor Emanuel Fernandes Torres and Antonio Manuel Miranda de Souza. And Liverpool are playing from the Kop end in the first half. That's the way they would want it. Ball at the feet of the Hungarian Kovac. And to his left is Federi. And they're the scorers of the two goals in Auxerre. Long pause from the Portuguese referee. He's not going until it says the right time. And when we do go, the kick-off was actually illegal because two players were in the wrong half of the French side. But no matter. Early touch for Gobala. And Liverpool's least experienced team trying to do what more famous predecessors have not previously managed to do, come back from a 2-goal deficit. times they tried, including the Super Cup, and 4 times they failed. But even so, Liverpool's hope is in their heritage. They have to, in their numbered shirts, wear numbers worn by the more famous, in their attitude and their application. Burrows to Walters. Walters recovered from a groin strain, missed out on Saturday. Ablett looking long for Rush. Ablett saying that his form has disappointed him as well as those who would wish him better. And much more than most for one recovery to be made. Burrows and Coquard. And Burrows adjudged to have pushed. Anfield is by no means packed, but the Kop end is pretty full, and the noise seems fairly vintage. Coquard is onside. Bit of a split scissor kick by Bruce Grobbelaar, just in case Coquard wanted to come too close.
He's so intent on doing his karate kick there, he forgot about his throw out. But just from a formation point of view, Mike Marsh is in fact playing right back, and he'll have an important job because Vairua down the left was very talented over in Auxerre, and you know, so it's a big responsibility for him to keep him quiet. And Rush is playing up by himself with McManaman more than anyone's going to be joining him. But Mulvey and McMahon together in central midfield.
There's McManaman, followed by Mahé. There's man-for-man marking. McManaman has gone down the middle. Mahé has gone with him. Now they come out to the left, and it's stride for stride all the way. And McManaman gets away. A Madrid penalty. Mahé the challenge from behind. And he's staying down because he got a kick in the calf. But the penalty with only 3 minutes on the stopwatch. They'd followed each other quite a distance. There the ball was won. Mahé felt that he might have been clobbered a bit, went there and caught back of ankle rather than calf. And the referee, who was well placed, had absolutely no doubt about it at all. That's the stuff of dreams, isn't it?
Well, I just know I wouldn't like to take the penalty, that's for sure, but it's just the start they needed. It was a penalty. It just stumbled the defender when he first went to get possession, which enabled McManaman to actually get in front of him, and he actually took his foot back to have a shot, and then he lunged in for the tackle and caught it on the downswing before he'd made a connection, and it was a penalty. He went down.
And the man with the responsibility is the big Dane, Jan Mulvey, only just back in the side. Rarely can there have been a more important strike for Liverpool. Gives an indication of the wind and the further test to the nerves. Mulvey against Martini, and Liverpool lead. Cracking penalty, curled right on top of the handbag in the corner of the net.
Quite amazing. Whatever he was thinking at this moment, I don't know, but he must have been totally relieved. The keeper goes the right way. A bit of a teaser, but it got past him into the corner, and just the start needed. Amazing.
And I'm inclined to think that might be the first direct shot that French goalkeepers had to face in this tie over the 2 legs. And it's changed the atmosphere of the whole contest. The prayer was for an early goal, and the prayer has been answered. Well, the French nerve would react. There's always going to be a factor and to go down so early really emphasises that. And the contrast between here and up at Parkhead, Charlie Nicholas has just missed the penalty for Celtic. Would you believe it? They've got even a harder task than have Liverpool. It's good play by McManaman. Clearly going to be the pattern. The ball played up to Marsh, played up to Rush rather. He'll want support coming from both sides, and the nippy Walters should be the first to show. Charanjan Kaczmarek. Free kick has been given, and a huge divot out of the Anfield turf. McMahon. Walters. Marked by Darras. Here's Walters.
Early on, and you could see with Mark Walters' shirt there, the wind is more than not behind the Liverpool players. And there's got 2 or 3 through balls already that have gone over the top and then zipped through and gone off the goal kick. So it's going to be important for Liverpool to make sure they don't overhit those with the wind behind them. There's Marsh. Mulvey. Bit off the shins, but it worked. And then he was rushed out of it. This is Peretti, and Kovac, good save! Taking up where he left off in France. Here's Grobbelaar. Free kick. Wonderful save, he timed the challenge so well. Got away, and that's an indication, though, that Liverpool, having made this fine start, does not let the blood go to their heads too much. Because they were caught then by a very quick break, and they should know from the match in Auxerre how quick the 2 wingers and the centre-forward, I think we're entitled to call him, is. McManaman. Kaczmarek, it's a goal kick. Animated Graham Souness, and possibly about this, Kovac got an opportunity, he thought, and Grobbelaar, right down at his feet, parried as the shot came in. Always a danger, because Liverpool do play quite flat across the back, and they were just caught on the break, running from deep, and Ferreri got out wide, played a super ball across the face, and Kovac, to his intent, I would have thought, did everything right, side-footed it towards goal, but Bruce Grobbelaar spread himself superbly and just carrying on from where he left off in the first leg.
We played 10 minutes of the second leg, and Liverpool lead 1-0. 2-1 down now on the aggregate score. Bayrou being given no chance to build on that left touchline. Marsh is challenger. Tanner concedes the corner. There was no other option. Determined look in the eyes of Nicky Tanner. Jean-Marc Peretti has gone to take it. It's experienced French international, although he hasn't been in the side for a year. Hoping to get back. Coquin on this side, a good claim. By Grobbelaar. Ablett. McMahon. Mulby. Another good pass. That's well delivered. But he's offside. In fact, by Ruhr. Graham Souness's volume is on a par with that of the Kop, and he's only got one voice. McMahon. Well, Mulby tried it, McMahon tried it, neither was successful. That's a free kick against Nicky Tanner. Bayrou starting off hugging that left touchline. That was one of the features of the first leg with the Auxerre team. Auxerre, as they pronounce it in Auxerre. Auxerre and most of the rest of France. Coquin is up, so is Roche. No one near there. Well watched header. It's far too strong from Rush. He scratches his head, and I'm not surprised. Mistake by Roche, who's taken over the captaincy from Brunier. Marsh. Ablett. Burrows. Played by McMahon. And nearly a good pass, but the flag had gone up for offside. The run by McManaman to look for the pass of McMahon. Steve McManaman played against Port Vale, but has missed 2 league games since the first leg of this tie, needing the rest. Well up by Marsh. To win certainly at Liverpool's backs, that was clearly seen then. Rush to McManaman. Good challenge by Mahi that time. Here they are together again. Mulby. Passing so far a little bit obvious from Dan Mulby. Free kick against Ablett, which seemed a little harsh. Kovac making a close inspection of the turf. He was a bit surprised to find him coming in. It was a bit of a jump, to be fair, but didn't actually touch the player as far as I could see.
I'm not sure. I think that was a dreaded dead leg there. When you go in for the tackle, sometimes the old knee goes into the thigh, and that one does stiffen up.
Strong challenges, and a certain amount of jumping up and down. Kop certainly adding to the atmosphere. Well kept in by Mark Walters. Hasn't got away from Darras. There's a double marking. As Marak was the extra man. Different role for him. Playing as the man at the back. Kovac asked for attention, but the referee says if you want it, go off. McMahon is down as well, and he wants attention. I'm not sure how many people are sympathetic with Kovac, but Trevor Brooking is, because he certainly saw the old professional's trick, as it were.
I've had a few dead legs. If you get the old kneecap in the thigh, it once the old physiotherapist gets his fingers into it, he won't be too lively in the next couple of days either.
Seconds being wasted, and the referee doesn't like that, and he's taken the name of Daras. Frederic Daras goes into the book, and the French may well feel at the moment that the man from Portugal is a little hard on them. McMahon. Fell fairly awkwardly against the boarding around the ground, but I don't think he's any the worse for wear. I should imagine the boarding might have come off the worse. Tablets. Kovac, still feeling the injury, is hobbling off for attention. That's a free kick. Rush on Ferreri. Proof that Trevor Brooking is right. There it was. Bayrua. Second corner for Auxerre. I think Ferreri might just wait to see if Kovac can come back into the action or not. He's back on the field, but about 30 yards out. Not quite what Tanner intended, but it fell kindly. So it's to be hoped that he can run that off. I'd like to think that's a sentiment which will be appreciated in Merseyside, but I'm not 100% sure about it. Here's McMahon. And Walters. Martini has come to meet him and doesn't make a particularly good attempt initially. He got it the second time around. Martini currently the #1 choice of Michel Platini. And Kovac is to take no further part. And he's to be replaced by Didier Otakore. Walters cross, and it was McManaman shot, and Tanner who got up. Paul had quite a long journey on the roof. Jan Mulvey is going to take it, so it could well be a long one, longish. Ferreri wanting it to drop out, and it didn't. Rush didn't get there. Rush was ahead of him. McMahon. Burrows. "20 minutes gone. Liverpool having pulled back one of the 2 goals they conceded from the first leg. And if you've joined us late, I think it's fair to say, I should tell you that Liverpool playing a great deal better than they played in France. But then their manager might feel that that wouldn't be too difficult. But they're doing the job that he would have asked them to do.
No, they're much sharper all the way around. I mean, they've had disappointing results in the league, and Graham Souness hasn't had a lot of choice of the side he could play this evening because of the foreign rule, but the goal has done them a world of good, given them that confidence, and there's a lot of determination, and I think Auxerre now know where Anfield is.
Free kick is given. Dutuel is going to take it. I have a feeling that's the first time I've mentioned his name. And he was such a factor in France. Well, one presumes from the pace of that was a shot. If it was going wide from about a foot after being struck. On by Rush, nice header. McManaman, way out and had come in. Otakore. Ball was out. Which you can see, I think, from that little moment, that he's another French player who enjoys being in possession and taking people on. Mulby. Manaman. That's the tightest contest, I think, between those two, McManaman and May. Houghton losing out to Guerrero. McMahon. Walters. Marek got back to get the challenge. And Rush had moved across. Burrows. Good play by Mulby. McMahon, and as the shot came in, as you can see, we've got a little bit of bother by somebody who wanted to join the goalkeeper. And I wonder what would have happened if this ball had got into the net. To readjust the netting. Just a couple of rather stupid people whose names will be noted by the police, which will be ignored by everybody else. Walters. Manaman goes away and takes May for company. It's good play. Burrows just couldn't take it with him. Kokar made a great deal of that. Burrows is booked for it. Well, he suggested with his delay at the start, the Portuguese referee, that he was going to be very precise. But Kokar here was a spinning top beloved of French children.
I mean, David Burrows just swung round in the hope of connecting with the ball and got the faintest of clips, and as you say, Coker went down tumbling, and unfortunately Burrows has got booked. But I think out on down the left-hand side, Mark Walters, who, when Darris, who's marking him this evening, came on at half-time, Mark Walters definitely had the beating of him in the first leg, and I think if they can get the service out to him early to his feet and he can run at that defender, Darris, I think that might be the opening. Liverpool can create a chance.
He's added something different to the side, Jan Mulby. Not everything he's tried has come off, but the experience is there, taking the heat out of things. The little passes, a little heavier than he used to be. He's always been fairly big. This is Ferreri. Factor only once so far. And a free kick's been given against Burrows. You can only assume for a little push or pull. Auxerre. Play by Mike Marsh. Houghton. Held it up nicely, found space nicely, found McMahon well. Free kick against May. It was a bit of a hospital ball. And the youngster didn't flinch. Free kick now. Against Daras. David Burrows needing to clear the head a bit. If Liverpool are successful, he won't be in the next match. That's an academic point at this juncture. All's out. Tanner. Marsh. Play it long, says Houghton. He does, looking for Rush. All the time has had Alain Roche for company. And this time McManaman is the guilty party and knew it. The pole. A year ago he captained his country against England at Wembley, but won't be playing against England next week on home soil. Walters, the moment that he let it come by the side of him, he was a loser. Ablett. That's Malek, the spare man. And again. Kane does seem to have that happy knack of being in the right place at the right time so often. Houghton, nobody left side. Now Burrows offers. Two on the far post, one of them is Rush. McManaman's now come across to the near. Mulby not going to take the serve. Here's McManaman. Houghton. Mulby is square. And the return ball comes in for Houghton. And Marsh scores! It's taken just half an hour to square the tie. Mulby's wonderful pass. Houghton, the instant cross. Marsh, the decisive header.
Well, it's a superb ball from Jan Mulby. Good floated cross by Ray Houghton, and credit to Mike Marsh. Heads it down, perfect header, goalkeeper no chance. But Jan Mulby has provided the subtlety that that man used to provide in a few years ago.
Well, as I suggested, he's been such a factor. Huge experience. Liverpool's secret in the past was all about passing the ball, and that's how that goal was achieved. McManaman makes the run to the right. Here for the match against Crystal Palace when Liverpool lost for the first time at home under Graham Souness. Said he wanted to sample the atmosphere of Anfield and went away saying that it's not going to concern us too much. But it's a very different atmosphere when it's European football being played here, particularly. And he knows different tonight. It's all square at 2 apiece. Still, in the mind, Liverpool must be conscious that if the French were to score, that is an away goal. Here's Rush. Good save by Martini. He was offside anyway. The flag was a little late. And Rush. Caught.
The French defence a little bit rattled now, and of course they're missing their skipper Prunier, who was booked in the first leg, and there's no doubt his influence at the moment would have helped settle them down, because 2-0, 35 minutes into the first half, I think is beyond anyone's wildest dreams.
French are being hurried. They have never been allowed to play the game at their pace. They make good use of changes of pace, as they showed a fortnight ago. This time the whole match has been played at Liverpool's pace. And the yellow card shown, and the recipient was Mike Marsh. There's the missing skipper. The white coat, William Prunier. Roche. Coquart. Wild challenge by Ablitz.
I think Ablitz looked sometimes worse than it was, because Vairua, who has switched down the middle now since Kovac has gone off, did tumble again, and that is something I think the referee's got to be conscious of. The French team definitely don't mind a tumble at the wrong time, and Liverpool themselves, having picked up a couple of bookings, seems the referee doesn't hang about before bringing the card out, so certainly don't want a red card.
Walters taking on Daras. Free kick against Rush. Play the man, not the ball. Ian Rush, 3 goals short of Roger Hunt's record. 17 goals in Europe, Roger Hunt scored. Into the last 10 minutes of what so far has been a very good half for Liverpool. Marsh and McMahon tackling each other. That wasn't a bad attempt by Ferreri, because Grobbelaar was well forward. Ray Houghton doing a good job. Mulvey. Otakore. A miss kick. Bayrua. Good challenge by Evlid after his error. definite escape for Liverpool, and in particular for Gary Ablett. He made the initial error, but all credit to him. He won a crunching tackle which saved the situation that he created.
Cross came from the left-hand side, and unfortunately for Gary Ablett, he sort of naturally left-footed, and the cross came to his right, and he went to whack it clear, and it scuffed off his boots, and as you say, then he did block the initial shot, but it was a lucky escape. A goal conceded now just before half-time would be disastrous.
Free kick for that challenge by Marsh on Auxerre. Houghton. McManaman was on his own. Part of young man's education, Steve McManaman. Man-to-man marking by Stefan Mai. Walters. Dallas trying to get there first. Houghton. Difficult bounce. Well done by Ablett. Mulby. Just a bit too long for Rush.
That type of ball over the top by Mulby in the second half would hold up in the wind, and they might have more joy when he's making those sort of runs and can run onto them, as I say, when they do hold up and don't run through to the keeper.
Duel trying to get Auxerre away. Tanner. Rush. Walters. McManaman. McMahon. Mulby. Spare man is Burrows. 5 involved in this attack. Handball. Good spot by the referee. I think the Dane would have taken action if he hadn't spotted it, but it was a good spot.
I think it was impossible to see for the referee to see, but I think Jan Mulby loomed over him appealing, and he thought, right, I'll give it.
You're not suggesting he couldn't see around Mulby's physique, are you, Trevor? No, I wonder whether Mulby would think about a curler here. Judging by Houghton's position, it might just be a little push-up. It's now crowded so much. They pull away, and he gets a deflection, and that is a very good save by Martini. Well, in the end, his intention was pretty obvious, and the deflection was tough on the goalkeeper, who got down extremely well. Walters lost control of it. Into the last 5 minutes. Our half in which Liverpool have scored twice to square the aggregate at 2-all. A peel away by the Liverpool players, left the gap, came off the end man on the wall, and was a very good save.
It was a terrific save, because it was the worst possible for a goalkeeper, just hitting the grass a couple of yards in front of you, and then it zips off, and he did very well to keep his eye on the ball.
Steve McMahon keen to get possession. Tanner has joined Rush on a line with the far post. Forrest will take it. Mulby's gone into the box as well. I've got 4 there. McMahon. Rush! They were looking for the offside flag, but the linesman was absolutely level. Maybe Rush was too, and these days that's good enough.
He just seemed to hesitate fractionally. He got a yard away from his marker, and whether he just did wait for the whistle, I don't know, but in the end he got shut down, and the shot was half blocked.
Ball really curled back from that clearance. Wind, if anything, has got stronger as the half has gone on. Auxerre. Side doesn't look anything like as well balanced, the French side, without Kovac. Auxerre, for the record, born in France, but his parents were born in the Ivory Coast. Ferretti. It's done well, but not well enough, and that's the goal kick. McMahon. Looking for Walters. Takes it well. Barrow's just inside. Free kick again. And every time Walters has turned, Darris has got a foot in. Complaints from the Liverpool bench. Phil Borsma getting a bit cross with the referee, and the referee wants to talk to him. And Souness, I think, interceding, trying to calm things down. Borsma seemed to be saying that's the 5th time that sort of challenge has been made on Walters. And now the official law is getting involved. 3 against 4, and Martini with a good play. Throw. Into the last minute of the half. And the free kick is given.
Oh, what a terrific half it's been. Liverpool had the disappointments in these opening 2 or 3 months of the season, but this has to be, I would think, the best performance so far. Souness must be delighted, and the key difference is they just haven't allowed the French team the space that they had and enjoyed in the first leg, and they are very much ball players, and if they are given space there are problems, but they haven't had it on this occasion.
Good play by Walters and then by McMahon, but not on that occasion by Mulby. Bayrou. Dituel. It was Mulby who blocked. Would have been a corner if it had gone out. That wasn't the best of clearances. Advantage of the spare defender. He's such a demanding, appealing face, the manager. Could be a pretty harsh one too from time to time. Walters. Free kick given. No, corner given. Time for it, a little bit of time the referees allowing for stoppages, and Rush trying to get there but pushed too soon. Gets a bit of a lecture, and maybe he says he doesn't understand Portuguese. The message is fairly clear, but there are none so deaf as those who don't want to hear. And that's the last action of the half. Great applause for the Liverpool team. Graham Souness waiting to greet them. Marsh, the scorer at the second goal, after Jan Mulby had scored the first after only 3 minutes. And I suppose the first part the job has been done. The deficit from the first leg has been wiped out.
Well, I think we might have been a little bit despondent going into the match because they've never come back from 2-0 down in a European tie here. And here's a team, a lot of inexperienced boys, and they've done it so far, but they've got to be careful about that away goal, Alan, haven't they, still?
That's right, tremendous first half. They showed a lot of effort, attitude and commitment, allied to some great play. And they come out the first half with nothing but credit, but the job's only half done. There's no point in playing like that in the first half and go out the tie. They've got to go out in the second half and play with the same determination and spirit, hopefully get a break or two and get another goal.
Nice thing, Jimmy, is they're passing the ball around, Liverpool style.
Beautifully. I mean, the senior players really have taken the responsibility and done extraordinarily well and risen to the occasion. And the young ones, particularly Mike Marsh, not only because he scored the goal, but like a Liverpool player, born to be a Liverpool player, he's passed the ball beautifully throughout the half and set a good example, you know, to every one of the Liverpool side as well. First-class performance, but Alan's so right. We're still, our knees are slightly knocking because the French are going to change now.
Yes.
Yeah, their attitude will be different. Yeah.
Well, we'll have a look back at some of the incidents in the first half in a couple of minutes' time. But of course, this time next week, we'll be looking at England in Poland, where of course they've got to draw at least to qualify for the European Championship final. Graham Taylor, as you know, announced his squad, an interesting squad this week. And David Davis has been along to see the England manager.
Graham, is it a fair summary of the past month that the England manager's honeymoon period that lasted about a year finally came to an end?
Well, you know, I don't think there's been a honeymoon period. See, I've never seen it that way because from the very time of my appointment, there would be people who disagreed with my appointment in the first place. So from their point of view, there's never been a honeymoon period. People, it's just a phrase, that is. It doesn't mean a thing. Because if you go back to the very first game of 15 months ago when we beat Hungary 1-0, the praise as such, if it was muted. Then we beat Poland 2-0 in our first competitive game. Well, that was okay. And so it's never been something that's been a honeymoon period anyhow. The last month, certainly from the Turkey performance, and as the manager, I mean, I was the first person really that said that wasn't very good when I came off. I mean, what more do people want? I don't need, but of course I accept that everybody's going to tell me that it wasn't. And of course that performance wasn't a good one. We got the result, and that was the important thing. But certainly there have been one or two situations in the last week, and unfortunately Steve Harrison's resignation was one that caught the headlines as well. But that's part of management, be it at club level or be it at international level, so you cope with those kind of things, and all the attention now is Poland.
I think many people were surprised immediately after the Turkey game when you said you didn't really know what had gone wrong in the performance. They then added, well, perhaps the manager ought to know.
Well, I don't know why people lose that urgency or commitment, but I would certainly know the reasons. I mean, the point is, at the end of the day, is that the team didn't perform as a team. The shape and balance of the side wasn't right. We showed little perception from the middle part of the pitch, and certainly as well, we didn't have individual players going past people, and we lost our way. Now that can happen at international level as well as at club level, and we lost our way as a team.
As far as Brian Robson is concerned, did you decide effectively at the end of that game with Turkey that you wouldn't take Brian to Poland?
Brian was already, after the Turkey game, going to phone me to say that he wished to announce his retirement. This was after he himself was going to phone me, and Alex Ferguson actually convinced him not to do that in the event that I selected him for the Poland game, and then his advice to Brian would be to go out to Poland, help England get a result, and then announce your retirement. So really, it's only one game earlier. The fact that I haven't selected him for the Poland game doesn't mean that Brian, as people sometimes have indicated, that now he's saying, well, I'm going to retire because I've not been selected. Another question. He'd already made his mind up after the Turkey game, and it was, from all accounts, talking to Alex and talking to Brian, Alex had persuaded him just to hold fire. Now, I decided not to select him for the Poland game because you do have to look to the future.
Have you given up on Chris Waddle?
Chris Waddle is in this, but you've heard me. I mean, it's wrong for me to be pushed into the sense and never say never. On the other hand, one's got to be realistic. I've seen Chris, and it's not a question of saying when people get to a certain age they can't or won't perform, but I happen to agree with Chris Waddle when he says he's suited to French football. I don't disagree with that. I think he is suited, and what we can't do, we can't change all of the way of playing to suit any one person. We are in the business of trying to build a new England side because of the lack of availability of players through injury, because players have retired, and because certain players have, in fact, in my opinion, peaked and gone beyond international form. And I think anyone would accept that.
The Irish you saw on television against the Poles. What impression did the Poles make on you in that game?
I think that, I would imagine at the end of the game, as much as Jack was crying, the Polish people were laughing and jumping about, because with a quarter of an hour gone, the game's over, it's finished with. You would never 3-1 up. I mean, I'm sure Jack himself, whatever he says, at 3-1 up, then you wouldn't have given the Poles a prayer, really.
In Poznan, you're bound to want to win, but will the first priority be to keep the Poles out, or will you actually chase the game?
I think if you chase something and leave yourself wide open, it's rather stupid as well. And I think in this sense, what we will do, we will go out, as we have done in the previous 14 games under my managership, expecting to win. And if we don't win, then we look for the draw. Now, we've achieved that on 13 of the 14 occasions that I've been the manager. No reason why we can't achieve it on the 15th.
England in Poland next Wednesday. We'll have the first half highlights and the second half live for you. 6:15, BBC 2. We're on BBC 1 right now. BBC 2 next Wednesday for England's match. And then later on in Sports Night that night, we'll have Scotland against San Marino and Wales against Luxembourg. Both Scotland and Wales can still qualify, of course. And highlights of Northern Ireland in Denmark, as well as Poland against England, if you missed the live broadcast earlier. Well, we've got some match here now, haven't we? 2-0 down, they're back to 2-2. But, Alan, they had a dream start, really, didn't they? 4 minutes gone and a penalty.
Absolutely fantastic start, you know, to score after 4 minutes. Like we said, it was a dream start for them. And they've made some chances after that as well. McManaman here, he shows a bit of aggression. He maybe just fouls the defender, maybe. But it's a definite penalty. At least he showed a bit of aggression to get in the box.
Can I just say that I thought he fouled him first, not maybe.
Outside the area, yeah. Now, what about the penalty from Moby? He's taken better ones, I guess, but it went in.
Yeah, the goalkeeper nearly gets it, but if it goes in, it's a great penalty, isn't it? I mean, he's got them, like you say, he's got them off to a dream start, 1-0 after 4 minutes. And then we were expecting things to happen. I think the Liverpool players themselves were expecting things to happen. And it did happen for them.
Yes, but we've been worried all along here about the breakaway goal, haven't we? Because Auxerre looked that sort of team. They're quick on the break. And here was an incident.
We call him born-again Bruce, because he's in wonderful form at the moment. I mean, he's the reason, if they get through to the next round, Bruce Grobbelaar's the man who can take most credit for this kind of thing. The position is lost. The striker does everything he should do. He's anticipated, spread himself beautifully, so there's no way that Kovacs can squeeze that ball past him. This player, he couldn't have done better with that ball. He couldn't have done better, and neither could Bruce, because that kept Liverpool into the second half, which is going to be very exciting, and hopefully into Europe while they buy time with their injuries.
Well, he kept it down to 2-0 in the first tie, didn't he? I mean, he had a super game here. Now, here's Liverpool's second goal. Alan.
This is a fabulous goal. Great move, Ray Houghton, great cross to the back post. And Mick Marsh coming in right back. I mean, to be playing at right back is hard for Mick Marsh, but to play in this game and score a goal, it's just fantastic. And as Jim said, he's been the best player on the pitch for me.
That's a lovely ball from Mulvey, wasn't it? They're beautiful.
It's all good stuff. Yeah. And Mick Marsh is coming at the back post, and he's headed in.
What do you feel about Moby's performance, Alan? I mean, he's come into the team, he showed lots of experience and lots of nice touches, but just occasionally he's given the ball away once or twice, but I mean, it happened.
Well, of course it does. I mean, he's given the ball away once or twice. He's only played 4 games. He's been out with an injury. He's maybe just lost that little bit of sharpness. But I think Graham's got him in there simply because when it does come off for him, it's going to be good. And that's probably been the difference. I mean, Liverpool have played a passing game, and when it has come off for them, Moby's been the difference, as well as Mick Marsh. The two of them have played it in the deck, they've played good passes, Liverpool tonight have looked a different side that played in the first leg.
They came out with a super attitude, Jim, didn't they? Strike right from the start.
It's a much overused word, really, character, and especially in football. But on the other hand, that's like the old Liverpool. From all the criticism, all the bad results, as I said at the start, a team on paper that you would give no chance to, because there are too many young players, and they're struggling really with senior players. Yet the pride in the club and the emotion and the support of the cop, plus the first decision that went in their favour, you have to have a touch of luck in this game to get the result.
Of course, yeah.
Sorry, Dewey, to me, one of the two of the French side don't fancy it.
They don't travel well, you think?
That was the one thing that I meant to say before the start. The French could have come here expecting to lose.
Maybe. We mentioned Molby and his influence on the game, and he had a free kick towards the end of that first half, didn't he? Which
a speciality free kick. You see, the hole is made in the middle of the wall there, or to the left-hand end. And in fact, we've been slightly critical, Alan Hazard, this goalkeeper, and I wouldn't
He's the
disagree
French
with him.
international
I
goalkeeper.
know
We ought to remind ourselves of that.
But that was a good save because he was slightly blinded, by the wall. Good free kick, driven straight through the gap.
That's it for the moment. We're going to hear from your old sparring partner, Mark Lawrenson. He's here tonight. I don't know if you know that, but he's down there with Ray Stubbs.
Mark, your opinion of that Liverpool performance?
Well, it was certainly a frenetic first half, wasn't it? But they've got to be delighted going in, level goals now. And really, if you look at it, they've got 45 minutes plus another half an hour if they need it. And the most important thing is not to allow Auxerre to score.
Big save by Bruce Grobbelaar, wasn't it?
Straight after the goal, you're always at your most vulnerable as soon as you score, but that save could keep them in the competition.
A famous Anfield night tonight, perhaps?
Yeah, the atmosphere's certainly there. It's obviously nice for the punters and nice for the players to be involved in it.
Mark, thanks for joining us.
He wasn't a bad player to play alongside, was he?
Pretty hot, pretty hot.
He would say the same about you too. Just one or two thoughts about going into the second half, Jim?
A worry. I mean, all that we can do is say it is a pleasure once again to see Liverpool playing in the style which we all know they can produce, and to see movements which take your breath away a little bit. And I just pray that they can buy the time tonight, get home in this match so that they can get some of their players back and be really the Liverpool we know.
It certainly wouldn't be a worry if they repeat the performance of the first half.
No, quite, absolutely. All set for the second half. Stay with us. It's 2-2 on aggregate now. Anything can happen here. And let's rejoin Trevor and Barry.
And that's the other major factor. Liverpool are now attacking the Kop end. Mike Marsh, that was his first senior goal for Liverpool. And if Liverpool come through to the next round of Europe, it's one that he will never forget. Squared the match at 2-2. If you're just joining us for the second half, you've missed a good 45 minutes in which this man has played a major part. Jan Molby, only in the Liverpool team since the first leg. Used 24 different players this season. It's been because of their injury problems and because of the limit of only 4 foreign players in European ties. As you can see, it's now raining very hard. It came on just towards the end of the first half. I don't think it was a factor in that attempt. A bit far away from him, it hurt him a little bit to stretch for it. But it's going to be a new experience for Bruno Martini. Michel Platini might learn a little bit about him. It's never easy keeping goal in front of the Kop, unless you happen to be keeping goal for Liverpool.
Just looking at the Auxerre team, they've had a little shuffle round up front. In fact, Barry Rua has come back out onto the left. Otto Kerry has gone wide onto the right, and they're decided to play Coker down the middle just to see if that works better than it did in that half hour leading up to half time.
I think they really had to do that, Trevor, didn't they? Because they're part of their game plan in the first leg with 2 such good wide players. Nobody in the middle rather defeats the point. Rush. By Kazmarek. careful with the rain coming into their faces. Wind is from right to left. Not the best of clearances by Roche. Guerrero, who helped out. Not a particularly confident start to the second period by the French. Since the first leg, they've played 2 games, Auxerre, and they've drawn both of them, 1-1 at Montpellier and at home to Monaco. Away from home this season, the French team have scored only 4 goals in 8 games and have managed just the 3 draws. McManaman. And Bayrou. Bereri. Coquin not sure where he should run to. Free kick is Auxerre's way. Bereri. Dutuel.
You mentioned Dutuel there, and what's that, third occasion, and that's all. And he had such an outstanding game in the first leg. It's been a huge disappointment in this particular match. Fortunately, that is as well, of course.
Rush. And on the same wavelength as Houghton. Bit of pulling by Rush. Coquin has pulled away. Here he is. But the ball was out of play. Well, I wonder whether a certain David Fairclough is watching this match. It's the first time Liverpool have played a French side since they beat Saint-Etienne and went on to get their first European Cup success. And the result of that tie on aggregate was 3-2. Fairclough got the winner. This was gone. Free kick is against Burrows. Houghton checks to see where Grobbelaar is. Challenge was from Bayrou. Rush. McManaman. Ablett. It gets through, it shouldn't have, but it does. Dallas with the error. That's Walters with a little grab on him, having lost control. Didn't really matter. He was looking for a free kick. Didn't get it, and frankly didn't deserve it. Guerrero. Forced to hurry. Walters. Kosmarek. Free kick against McManaman. Auxerre down the middle. Bayrou to his left. Ablett's header. Well played by Walters. McManaman. Never really had the ball under control. Auxerre. Offside. Coquart. So far, Coquart's looked like a wide player, having to play in the middle. Nice touch by Bayrou. Ferreri. Ablett's clearance. Liverpool throw. McManaman. Taken by Marsh, got away from Ferreri. Comes Mulby. Walters. Jonas just closed the ankles in time. Taken by Mulby. A bit loose. But so was that. McManaman. Good tackle by Kazmarek. Liverpool pushing right up to about 10 yards short of the halfway line.
A pity Steve McManaman didn't release the ball. He beat his man, and Ray Houghton made a great run through the middle, and Ian Rush had pulled his marker away. And it's just that occasion, as a young player, just got to look up occasionally and release the simple ball. Sometimes that's the most devastating.
Houghton. Ablett. D2L not making it count. Ferreri. Bayrou invited to run on the touchline. Referee didn't like the challenge. Too many studs showing. Houghton. Rush. Ferreri covering the possible run of McMahon, but McMahon had come out. We've had 10 minutes of the second half, and the tie very finely poised. I just get the impression that the French have gone some way to coming to terms with their new position. Here's Dutuel. Ferreri. Bayrou. Pretty sharp Bruce Grobbelaar as Tanner got to it.
Certainly the French switcher put in Bayrou back out to the left gives them a much better balance going forward, and he's the danger.
Grobbelaar decides to play the full-back role. Just stopped by McMahon. Challenge by Auxerre. It's out. And it's a free kick. Ablett. Guerrero. Kaczmarek. I think ran a little too far for the comfort of his colleagues. Auxerre. Wide man both sides. That's a test for Burrows, and he's equal to it. And that was Darras who posed him the problem. Indicative, I think, of greater confidence in the French. Three in the six-yard area now, four. Four is there. Just a touch from Gobelart. Auxerre was hoping to swing a left foot at that. Auxerre again. Roche's shot was the one that was blocked. Danger should be over now, and is. Good play by Marsh. Stood his ground well too. This could be a promising break left side with Walters. Didn't actually have to run on to that. Which might have been better. U2L with the challenge. Got to make another one too. McManaman in the middle. And Walters very nearly catching Martini, looking too early for the cross. McManaman. Walters made the room. McManaman. Good header. Rush. And I think he got a knock in the face. Ian Rush from Alain Roche.
Good measured build-up here by Liverpool, and as you see, the chip to the far post by McManaman there. Ray Houghton trying to get in, not a good clearance, and as Ian Rush tries to get onto it, the defender gets his boot. There's a combination to the ball in Ian Rush's face. Just checking, is there any dental work needed tomorrow morning? But I'm sure he's going to be all right with the game so delicately poised at the moment.
Stand in the right place, not shielding the ball. Bayrou. Played Marsh. Played well in this right back position. Given away. And here's Coquard. What a good job he didn't take that in stride. Liverpool are pressing for a goal. There is clearly a threat at the other end.
I think Liverpool just, at some stage in the match, having gone 2-0 at half-time, there was bound to be a lull. They're going through that spell at the moment, and it's very important they don't concede that goal. And certainly Coca had a very good chance because it was a good through ball, and his control for once let him down, and Tanner got back well. But at this stage, I think Liverpool just got to dig in and make sure for 5 minutes they try and deny the space that suddenly the French team are beginning to get.
They've got a free kick for that challenge by Darras on Walters. No, they haven't, just a show. The referee certainly indicated initially, at least to my eyes he did, that it was a free kick. Auxerre is run into trouble. Run into a bit of Danish solidity. Oh dear, that was a Danish slicer. Guerrero, good tackle by Rush. Oh no. Well, the referee's given the free kick, but the ball was cleanly won, but the referee's angle was rather different from ours. If he had our view, I don't think he'd have given the free kick. At least I hope he wouldn't have done.
Continental referees prone to give this sort of tackle. It was a good tackle, as you see. He did get the ball, and the French midfielder goes down looking for the free kick, which he promptly got.
Free kick which Bayrou is going to take, and for which Alain Roche has joined 4 others on the edge of the 18-yard area. That ran off Tanner, and the block from Roche. Goalkeeper uses his legs so well from time to time, Bruce Gobelart. That was one of those occasions. Offside by Bayrou. Hasn't heard the whistle. Has now. Well, I said it in France a fortnight ago. Comments about Bruce Gobelart having had his best days here were very much made too soon. It was a very good block, holds his ground, good kick away. Jennings should have been pleased with that.
Great volley by Roche to get that at an angle, coming over your head in a swirling wind and keep it down was terrific. And as you say, Bruce Gobelart doing excellent to use his feet.
Quite what Walters wanted. Houghton got up well. Beretti. Tanner to cover. Second bite for Walters. Did the half bit and then lost the control. Almost from Rush to Houghton. Guerrero, Otakore, Coquin, Marsh, McManaman to his right, Houghton the other way was the better ball. So easy to say that from here. Mulvey. Marsh, everything to his left. He's got plenty of room to use. Oh, and it's wide by Houghton. I think the flag was up, yes it was. Had to be, there were suddenly 3 players for company with Martini. Well, I don't think so. Not the moment the ball was played, but the linesman said it was, so it wouldn't have counted.
Definitely looked the classic case of when the ball was played 2 or 3 forwards onside, and probably a relief for Ray Houghton that he's got off the hook by the linesman's flag going up. He'll be quite relieved, I think.
Tanner. McManaman. We've had 20 minutes of the second half, 25 minutes left. 2-2 the score. Mulvey gets away with the most blatant handball of the evening from our view. This is McMahon. Shooting chance.
A great save by the goalkeeper, because Steve McMahon did everything right, hit the shot and it went through the goalkeeper's leg, the defender's legs, and the goalkeeper could only have seen it at the last minute. Just started to pick it up again, Liverpool, where they had it in the first half now.
May have changed, but it's like old times at Anfield. Two up, marked by 2 with 1 spare defender. Liverpool's favour. One of the many players in the squad, who's boy and man at the club, came to them when he was only 14. That's the right blade of glass, although he changed it late in the day. Bayrou. Ray Houghton really has worked up and down this right touchline, and in other places too. The referee didn't like the stretch by McMahon. Counted too much in the Football League game, so I'm not sure what moral should be drawn from that. Again, 5 Auxerre players forward. It's too long. Watching too much of the World Cup in the other code. Will be watched with care. Free kick against Bayrou. A bit of pulling on Tanner. Take it from the right place, says Bruce. In other words, a place from which you can kick it to me. Oh, goodness me. Whew. What does that say about increased confidence? McMahon. Mulby. Rush on the chase, but the flag is up, and the free kick is Liverpool's, which Mulby will be very relieved, because having flicked it on, it seemed that he was the only one likely to catch it, and he was never going to catch it. He's got the free kick for the challenge. Rush and Darras being talked to by the referee. Rush and Roche, I should say, being talked to by the referee. Further out. Rush from McManaman, Mulby and Ablett. The 4 in the area. McMahon just outside it. The ball comes back. It was Mulby's head. Minutes to go. They can't reach a decision, there will be extra time. Walters. Dutuel. McMahon has stayed down. Coquart. Sharpness again from Grobbelaar as McMahon will now get the attention that he requires. And as you can see, blood coming from the bridge of his nose. And it's difficult to imagine that there's a more gripping tie being played anywhere in the British Isles this evening. Self. Took a couple of nasty knocks there. That's the one, the final one, I think, that got him in the face. But he may have a few other bruises too.
Marcus. I'm almost delighted to see Steve McMahon get up a bit, but as the minutes tick away, the tension builds up because both sides know that if a goal does go in between now and that 90-minute mark, that probably will be the decider at this stage of the match.
And in those terms, Trevor, there's extra pressure on Liverpool because of the threat of the away goal. I suppose it's a statement of the obvious that if one side goes ahead 3-2, the other side would have to score twice, but it would only actually apply to Liverpool. We end up at 3-3. This time we'd see the French go through on the away goal. It's currently 2-2. McManaman. It's that man Maya again. And again. And again. Ablett. Good ball. McMahon. Ira stays down. McMahon not at all concerned. Tanner. Rush. It's a good clearance by Guerrero. Walters. Get round the back, it would be useful. This is always the case when you get man-for-man marking. There have been some good contests within the contest overall. It's another good challenge by Daras. Was it out? No. Mulby. Lovely turn. And Daras, surely on this occasion, was beaten by sheer skill. But the referee decides that's one too many, and he shows him the red. Well, there have been many challenges that he has made on Walters, which were very harsh. But Giroud, I think, is entitled to feel that's very hard. But of course, he was booked in the first half, and for 2 yellow cards, he gets the red. But that seemed to me to be a player losing out to a brilliant piece of skill.
Well, I mean, he's played into Mark Walters. He does wrong foot him. He just puts out instinctively a foot there. I mean, it happens to be an Auxerre player this occasion, but if it was a Liverpool player, you have to say the same thing. There was no way for me that was even a booking offence, and it's a great shame that it's gone off.
And the French have brought on another defender, Mazzolini. And he's replaced the Pole, Kaczmarek. So we're in the 32nd minute, and Liverpool have a man advantage. Kaczmarek, as you can see, is still on the pitch, although Mazzolini has come on. And the man he's replaced is Auxerre. And he's waiting for someone to open the dressing room door for him. Frederic Darras. I must say, I think the decision was very, very tough. And I think if I were he, I would feel exactly like that. If I've confused you at all about the substitution, Mazzolini has come on, Kaczmarek is still on, Auxerre has gone off. Burrows. Moby. Burrows. Burrows. Good reach by Kaczmarek. So it's an understandable substitution, bringing on another defender for an attacker. And the penalty competition may be uppermost in the minds of the French. To hang on to this position. I think they play with 10 men. With 10 men. Bayrou, rather a hasty clearance which falls kindly.
Mazzolini, the substitute's come on and is going to take over Darras's job of marking Walters, and they'll sort of sacrifice the extra player up front and trying to, I think, get to full time at this moment, and then think about how to cope with the extra time with a man short, which gradually, as the minutes tick away, might begin to tell.
And 11 minutes after 90. Plus a further 30. Well, they've got 2 up at the moment. McManaman. Marsh. Bayrou. Houghton made it his at some cost to himself. This is Dutuel. Good put out by Ablett. Minutes of the 90 left. Crowd roaring Liverpool to make extra time unnecessary. French down to 10 men. Little push by Rush. And quite a lot of that from him this evening.
Yes, Ian Rush to be helped out because Auxerre have got a number of people now defending. It's important that the Liverpool back four, at present quite often only have one, but certainly at the most 2 to mark, do push in and help make the extra man that they've got at this occasion, because if they sit back then they won't be able to make the extra man tell.
Burrows. Mulvey waits for McMahon, then gives it, well, in fact, between McMahon and Rush. Marsh. McMahon. Kokar gets goal side. Mulvey. Fine ball to Burrows. 4 in the area.
Superb crossfield ball by Jan Mulvey. It looks as if David Burrows would be mainly the spare man. It was him who got out wide and got the cross in, and if he can get going down that left flank, Liverpool can pick him out early. He could be the one that could put the crosses in.
It's not the best of headers by Ablitz, and here's Bayrou. Turner, who turned it wide of the near post. Heart-stopping moment there, one immediately after the other.
Yeah, I think we all missed the flutter there just for a moment.
Forward, waste of the set piece. Liverpool won't complain. Marsh wants to take it. No, he doesn't. Rush down the middle. McManaman just to his right. It's comfortably seen. Roche. Mulvey. Walters! And that really all came from the interception by Roche. He suddenly was missing from the middle, and how quickly Walters pounced to put Liverpool in front for the first time. Goalkeeper did all he could. Just got a nick off the far post. They were chasing back. Walters looked, struck, scored.
Well, a marvellous moment for Mark Walters, and it was Jan Mulvey who intercepted the ball, played it through, and just got clear a yard or two once he was away. I thought for a minute his second touch had taken it a little bit wide, but he picked the only spot he could have put it in past the goalkeeper, nestled in the corner, and now they've just got a few nervous minutes, and I should think that clock is going to take a long time before it ends up at 90.
Trevor, I remember a fortnight ago you took slight issue with me for saying that Walters had promised without quite delivering. Well, he was waiting for his moment, and he took that so well. I think he had total confidence that he was going to score. Also, I think it's true to say that it wasn't quite as close to the post as I thought. Dutuel. Roche. Intercepted well, but it was so quickly seized upon by Mulvey, and the pace of Walters had the finish as well. 5 minutes left. And for Liverpool, it's a question just of not making any mistakes, because we remind you again, if Giroud's side were to equalise now, it would be good enough to take them through on the away goal. So it's going to be tension-filled to the finish.
Well, it's easy sitting up here when you've only got a few minutes to defend. I think it's important though, Liverpool, they've got the extra men, don't sit back and just play outside, push forward, and I think if you can keep the ball in the opponent's half, then you're going to be safe.
Free kick to Liverpool against May. It's a familiar sight and a familiar sound, but it's not been this season seen or heard quite as often as in years gone by. But on this particular night, the inexperienced Liverpool side have lived up to their heritage, and indeed have surpassed more famous names by coming back from 2 goals behind, a 2-goal deficit. typical expressions, but the inner feelings in great contrast with 2 weeks ago. Auxerre on this side, offside. We're inside the last 2 minutes. Auxerre can't quite believe it. And I have to say I have some sympathy with the French. Things just haven't gone their way at all. And I think the sending off was extremely harsh.
Yeah, I totally agree with certainly the sending-off was harsh. A little bit of fortune with the penalty, but I think at the end of that first leg 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have envisaged a 3-0 scoreline at this stage. So I think if they can hang on, the Liverpool side deserve all the plaudits. They've had a difficult spell, and when you have a night like this, you've just got to sit back and enjoy it.
Rush. 2 against 2. Wouldn't have gone in from McManaman. We're well into the last minute. Walters. Hesitancy between McMahon and Ablett, or more on the part of Ablett, I feel. But he's made his personal recovery. And we're now playing the time that the referee is allowing for stoppages. Mulby, huge space on the left for Burrows, 3 waiting for the decent cross, and they're still waiting. One look at the watch from the Portuguese referee. He's got plenty of encouragement to blow the whistle. Goes. Well, the last time Liverpool came back against the French side from then a 1-goal deficit to St Etienne, they went on to win the European Cup. Their name has twice been on the UEFA Cup in 73 and 76. What will this victory do to Graham Souness's side? The whistle is actually between the lips, but there's no puff. It's a danger of swallowing it. No longer! If 2 weeks ago it was the worst performance for Graham Souness's side, tonight it's been their best. He's made a huge difference, Jan Mulby. Mark Walters getting the winner with 6 minutes left. The Liverpool side of this season has had its problems, doesn't have the experience, has been altered madly because of the new laws of UEFA, but they have done something that no Liverpool side has done before in Europe. They've come back from 2 down to win.
Well, nothing much has gone right for Graham Souness since he came here as manager, but it's gone right tonight. Wonderful pictures and a wonderful night to be at Anfield, and we're delighted that you've been here with us too. Well, we thought it was impossible. It looked impossible, Jimmy, and they've done it. A little bit of luck, but...
Yeah, I mean, as I said before the game started, looking at the team sheet with those youngsters in, you know, and the troubles they've had, you would say it's impossible to turn the game round. But they deserve every credit. The luck did go their way, and we shall hear now from Graham Souness, just
they
exactly
played remarkably well.
What
On the night they played remarkably. They're a mountain to climb, and they've overcome it, and they deserve to go through.
And the fans played no small part, and he probably had his best match for Liverpool.
Best game I've seen him play for Liverpool.
All right, let's hear from Graham.
Graham, a famous Liverpool performance. A famous Liverpool performance, Graham.
I don't think it was a classic in terms of, you know, what Liverpool are famous for, but it was Liverpool grit and determination out there tonight.
You called for it, and here's Mark Walters joining you. A great signing.
He's tonight. Not always, but he is tonight. No, he's a good man. He's a good man. He gives 100%, and you can't ask for any more than that.
That surely was the most important finish you've ever had to go through.
Without a doubt, yeah, the boys were tremendous. We've had a lot of flack over the last few weeks, and it was great the way the boys responded.
Graham, the Liverpool crowd played their part tonight too.
They did. We'd said before the game, you know, we wanted them to turn up because our crowd are special. When they get behind us like that, there's nobody better than them. They responded tonight, and all credit to them. Our players responded tonight. We have a young team, an inexperienced team in football, and especially in European football. And they needed the confidence. They needed to know that the crowd were with them tonight, and they certainly were. And all credit to them. They won it as much as we did tonight.
Congratulations to everyone at Anfield.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks. Come again.
Yeah. Well, it's been a smashing night. I think Jimmy Hill's lucky suit played no small part in this evening's proceedings.